You see Anthony Yarde, 7-0, London, England. He'll be our opening bout on Saturday. He is he has 6 KOs, a big punch in those hands for Anthony Yarde as he's making his way across the pond.
Yeah, speaking of getting rounds in, he has not gone a lot of rounds in his 7 professional fights. I think he's gone 4 rounds once early.
Yep.
And everything else has been like a first or second round knockout.
In his second fight, he went 4 rounds. That was the only one where it wasn't a knockout. And he's fought 3 times this year, Doug. A first round knockout, second round. All of those fights in England. Born in 1991, Anthony Yarde. He'll be the opening bout on Saturday. Check it out on ringtv.com. About 2:20 in the afternoon, Central Time, you'll be able to see it.
And he looks very athletic from photos and footage that I've seen. He's very well muscled. Obviously, he's an athletic, powerful boxer puncher.
Robs Montano, appreciate you sending a tweet, and let's hear what Tattoo has to say.
What you give Canelo is amazing. So I love Mexicans.
Hey, he loves Mexicans. Viva Mexico! Mexican Independence Weekend is going down live on HBO pay-per-view, and right now you're going to get a chance to witness the man himself, Anthony Yarde.
Beto Duran, Doug Fisher, and Steve Kim. And we mentioned Vanessa Loyola was watching. Now there's more people in the office watching us. And Canelo Alvarez is still right here at the Gaylord Texan Hotel. Appreciate everybody watching it. Rob Montano agrees with you, Doug. So he's looking for the Hat League crew. Here, good tweet for you. Make sure you send those tweets using the hashtag RingTV. Beto Duran, Doug Fisher, and Steve Kim. And Steve, before a couple fights ago, we were talking about your news and notes. There's a fight coming up with Manny Pacquiao, and we're also the night before though we're gonna have LA Fight Club at the Blasco Theater. You were thinking about going to that one?
Yeah, but you know what? I can't miss Beto and Doug time.
Oh no.
So,
it's very special.
You know, I'll be honest with you. There's 2 fights, November 5th, November 19th, 2 weeks apart in Las Vegas, both on pay-per-view. Bob Arum doing his own production and distribution for the Jesse Vargas-Manny Pacquiao fight. And then you also have the situation taking place November 19th at the T-Mobile Arena with Sergey Kovalev and Andre Ward. Doug, I'll say if you had to go to just one, I think in terms of significance, fighters in their prime, and being just a better matchup, I think November 19th is the easy call for most boxing fans.
Listen, November 5th is the Manny Pacquiao show. And I love Jesse Vargas. I think he's a legitimate welterweight, just won a world title against Saddam Ali, who we're going to see in his comeback bout on Saturday. But he hasn't yet really reached that status in boxing. We've seen Pacquiao. We've seen the Pacquiao show, and we've seen the best of Pacquiao. Really, Pacquiao probably peaked in 2010 when he was fighting at AT&T Stadium, twice that year. On the other hand, Kovalev, right at his prime, right at his peak. He's the man in the light heavyweight division. Andre Ward, very highly regarded, considered a top pound-for-pound fighter. He was the man at super middleweight. Can he become the man at light heavyweight? It's a fight with more significance within the boxing world. Having said that, neither Kovalev nor Ward has the international popularity and celebrity that Manny Pacquiao has.
Speaking of that November 5th card, Beto, Bob Arum is planning to a pretty solid undercard. I believe Nonito Donaire is going to defend his WBO 122-pound title against his mandatory challenger, Jesse Magdaleno. I like that fight. Also, newly minted WBO featherweight titleist Oscar Valdez with a big victory back on July 23rd to win the title. I think he's going to get a slot on that undercard.
There you're looking at Anthony Yarde, British fighter, Hackney-born knockout menace is what I'm reading in the British papers. And Doug, where has this resurgence in the boxing scene in Britain come from? Because you mentioned how many fighters that they have that are world champions. You have Anthony Joshua, and then you just go down the list and you're like, wait a minute, that guy has, you're right. There's another division. Oh yeah, you're right. Where's this coming from?
It's a number of factors. One of the factors is their amateur program, and when Great Britain knew that they were going to host the 2012 Olympics, they really, really beefed up their amateur program. But beyond the amateur program, just locally, regionally, they're very strong club fight programs, just like we have in Los Angeles with LA Fight Club for decades. Every little area, whether it's Sheffield or Liverpool, definitely Manchester or what have you, they all have their own little programs. And there's the third factor is the fans. The fans are so loyal. They support the amateur. They support when the youngsters turn pro, and they support them all the way. So it's like they're developed very, very well until they reach that British Commonwealth status, and then finally they graduate into the world-class status.
Anthony Yarde, light heavyweight, hard hitting as he's called. Of course, he's 7-0 with 6 KOs. He better be hard hitting. You're knocking people out, especially in the first and second rounds, most of them. He said, quote, "I'm known as a big puncher because I knocked out so many of my opponents, but my accuracy is lethal." That's another difference, because when you have guys that come in and you knock them out, especially early on in their careers, it's like, okay, who's your opposition? But that's something that you guys have taught me to look for. It's the precision in their punches.
Well, early on, if you have any type of power, you're going to be matched relatively softly for the first dozen or so fights. As I like to say, they're on the house. A better indication of just how legitimate this power is probably will be within a year or two when it gets to fight number 15, 16, and 17, as he starts to get matched up with sterner opposition that's a little bit more durable. This will be my first time seeing him live. I'm interested to see what is the overall skill set with Yarde.
One of the comparisons for Yarde, how about former world champion Nigel Benn?
Wow, okay.
That's
the Dark Destroyer. If
Dark
he's anything like Nigel Benn, who I think should be in the Hall of Fame, one of my favorite fighters of the 90s, late 80s, early 90s.
Doug, expound upon your thoughts on the UK boxing resurgence. I don't know.
Part of it's the promoters.
Well,
they have excellent. Listen, these guys.
Frank Warren has Yarde.
Right. Frank Warren is like Don King, Bob Arum for UK. He's the guy who's been around for decades. He knows the game inside and out. And we also have Eddie Hearn, who's kind of like the new guy on the scene. He's kind of like Golden Boy Promotions. A huge stable, but they know how to develop talent. They keep them active. They also, let's be honest, they know how to work the politics in boxing and work their fighters up the sanctioning organization rankings to get them those world titles.
And the reality is in the UK, outside of soccer, boxing is still a very big deal.
It's a mainstream sport.
In America, you have the NBA, NFL, NHL, you have other sports, college athletics.
Yeah.
In England, a good solid title fight that I think may struggle to get 2,000 to 3,000 people in the building in the United States, you'll get 8,000 to 10,000. If you look at a fight like Linares Corolla coming September 24th, I think in America, you might fill 2/3 of the StubHub Center, as good a matchup as that is.
Right.
Over there in England, you'll have 15,000 to 20,000.
No, they will sell out the Manchester Arena. However many seats are in the arena, there will be butts in those seats, and there will be 1,000 more just standing in the aisles. I've been there. It's packed everywhere.
Yarde came to the sport of boxing around the age of 14. A documentary on Mike Tyson got him hooked. He was more of a soccer player and a track star. He says he ran the 100 in under 11 seconds as a 16-year-old, also a shot putter.
Impressive.
Pro debut. Happy to be here. You know, I like Canelo. Hope Smith does very well, gets him, can hopefully beat him. But you know, as we all know, Canelo is a star. So I'm just looking forward to see a good fight. I want to go on and put on a performance on myself. So I'm just happy to be here.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure the fans are going to be looking forward to it. We will know your name. He looks like future star potential written all over you, man. Anthony Yarde!
Anthony Yarde. Frank Warren running his career right now, London, England. He grew up in Stratford, England. Did the fighter born in 1991. He only had 12 amateur fights because he came to the sport so late that when he started going to these amateur fights, he was knocking people out and like, maybe not. So he turned pro in 2015, a second round knockout. And we'll be catching up with him in moments. But you go back to him, that's the athleticism that he has. Sprinter, shot putter, soccer player. So you see that.
Right.
And he said the first time he ever got in a fight, at the age of 12, somebody tried to rob him. he knocked out that would-be thief.
The natural power. So the sprinting lets you know he's got the quick twitch speed. The shot put lets you know he's got the physical strength and the power. And obviously, being a soccer athlete, he's going to have some coordination.
Without a doubt, Anthony Yarde, that'll be the opening bout on Saturday. Make sure to Golden Boy pay-per-view to get the pay-per-view for Saturday. The early prelim fights will be available on Ring TV. That'll be myself, Doug Fisher, and Steve Kim. As Anthony Yarde making his way over to the desk right now. How you doing, Anthony? There you go, man. You need a towel?
Pleasure to meet you.
There you go. Get a towel if you need that, man. Put the headset on. There you go. Take your time, man. No rush here. No rush right now. There you go. Sit the headset on. Now, actually, turn it around the other way. There you go. Turn it around here. Bam, bam, bam. There we go. Get that microphone on. How do you say your name the proper way?
Anthony Yarde.
Anthony Yarde. All
Not
right.
Yarde.
I apologize
No,
for
Yarde.
saying Yarde. I'm gonna, look at big old letters right here. Anthony Yarde. Reading about you, you grew up playing football or soccer,
Yeah.
as they say in the United States, right? It's really football, right? So who's
Yeah.
your team?
Arsenal.
Arsenal's a fan. Okay. Sprinter. You're a shot putter.
Yeah.
Only 12 amateur fights, and the United States are going to see you for the first time. I'm reading. You have a lot of power, and you're lethal. How do you describe your style?
My style is more of trying to counter punch, pressure fight, protect myself at all times, good defense, good power, good speed, and excitement.
Exciting fighter. Your last 3 fights, first round knockout, second round knockout, second round knockout. Do you go in there looking for that knockout?
No, not necessarily. I like the knockout. If it comes, it comes. If it don't, it's boxing. It don't always come. The main thing is getting the win. The best fashion to get the win is a knockout. It's exciting. So I do try. If I can see an opponent hurt, I won't mess around. I will try and finish him. But if it's not there to present itself, I'll just box and just try and keep myself safe and try and do the job.
Beto says you've been compared to Nigel Benn.
Yeah.
Is that true? And if so, does that put a lot of pressure on you as a young fighter?
Not at all. I think the comparison comes from me being from Ilford. That's where I live now. He lived in Ilford as
Right.
well, and he also had an impressive knockout ratio as well.
But he did look for the knockout.
Yeah,
he was
exactly.
crazy.
All the time, all the
Yeah,
time.
he really was.
What was the nickname?
The Dark Destroyer.
The Dark
I
Destroyer.
just love hearing you say that.
Ben was one of my favorite fighters, and it was because of Nigel Benn I paid attention to boxing in the UK
Yeah.
going back to the late 80s, and it's been captivating ever since. It's a lot to live up to, but not having that amateur background, do you feel that you're at any sort of disadvantage from these fighters who started boxing when they were 5 years old and had 200 amateur bouts?
Sometimes, that can cross your mind, but I try and get that out of my head. I believe in my skills. I believe in how hard I work as well. And sometimes, most of the time, you reap the benefits of your hard work. So my focus is to just keep working hard, keep a level head, keep my feet on the ground, don't get all excited about publicity and things like that. I've only had 7 fights. This is my 8th fight. It's a big thing to be fighting under the Canelo card in America as my first American debut. I'm just happy to be here. I just got to keep myself focused and do my job.
You come across the pond for the first time ever. It's okay. Some guys come over, they fight. But
Yeah.
a Canelo fight at a big
It's massive.
football stadium, that's awesome, isn't it?
It's massive. I haven't actually been to the arena yet, or the stadium, sorry. But I'm looking forward to it. I've seen it on TV. I've seen pictures. It looks amazing. So I might even drive up there after this to see how it looks.
You'll be there Thursday, you'll be there Friday, and
Exactly.
Saturday afternoon you can check them out, 2:30 on ringtv.com. There's a camera. Say all your Arsenal fans. You got to say hello to your Arsenal fans, right?
Arsenal are, they get to your blood pressure, because sometimes, you get stressed out if they lose or if they draw when they're meant to win. But, you got to stay true to your fan.
All right, Arsenal, Liam Smith is Liverpool. I got to go find me a team then. All right.
You got to find yourself a
But
team.
you're 7-0. I think I like Arsenal. Anthony Yarde is his name. You'll see him on Saturday on Ring TV. Good job. Congratulations. And
Thank you.
there's some fans out here that want to take pictures with you, man.
Yeah. It's good, man. I love Mexicans because they're so supportive.
Well, thank you. I
Yeah, you
appreciate
Mexican?
that.
Oh,
Thank you. Doug speaks boxeo.
okay.
You're saying the right things, though, man.
No, I
all
genuinely
week long,
mean it.
Keep saying, I love Mexicans. You
No.
saw what happened to some of the other fighters.
No, I genuinely mean it. The support they give their fighters, they're diehard fans. Like, I just love the atmosphere they bring. I really love it.
And the broadcasters are good too, huh?
Yeah,
there
fantastic.
you go. Anthony Yarde, we'll be checking up with him on Saturday. Make sure you check it out. Fight on Ring TV. Where are we going next, Will?